라키싱도 엠바 상기 좀 된데기 니마 아니 지금 상마이니에 전주 신변에 가블이야 아 저기 저 심지에 탐제 동아 저당 안에 심지에 탐제 상기게 살아 고고도 삼제 니네 심지에 탐제기 된다라 산조고방 토벌지긴 삼네 니네 냠네 아니 심바다 수좀 나서베 냠네 파신 쪽에 냠 나이도 아니 지게 대야 아니 지 류롱주 아니 야네 양도 안도스 당제 아니 지게 도스 냠레나 되네 냠레나네 아니 산지고방 아니 지고 바샤다 제바 방제 아니 시지윤데 타다 아니 켄 투수 취제 산지고방 톱찬네 되네 아들야 안 투제 왕기 아저 안 지글야 안 최기 콜로 거제 최송 되네 인자 최송바 산지기 최디 송비 최딩 아저 냠면 제바이나 나 아니 베네 자규게 냐파수 자선수 태여바 나신진에 산이게 송기 송시베 최대량 아주 퇴섬 검숨제 냠는 제여도 아니 아주야 고발에 저체야 산이살아 꾸고레스 되네게 아니 산이게 도스진 아주 있던다라 아니 가와체 아니 최송 뱀마세 되네게 그린 침보레스지 안디고라 그생 티슈로 아주
Good evening. So last time we spoke about how the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni, he generated the mind of bodhicitta, the mind where he made the determined commitment that he would ensure that he develops himself or attains enlightenment himself in order to be able to lead all sentient beings, in order so that he can perfectly guide each and every sentient being to achieve their own enlightenment, their own state where they are completely freed of suffering and have perfected all good qualities. Having generated this mind of bodhicitta, he engaged in the training of the 6 perfections of generosity and ethical conduct, patience, joyous perseverance, concentration and wisdom, engaging in a vast array of virtuous deeds, even offering his body, his very life, to be of benefit to others. And then when he attained the fruition of all these virtuous activities, arose as a Buddha, he then taught the Buddha Dharma for the sake of suffering beings. So with this, through the motivation of compassion, the Buddha then taught the Buddha Dharma for the sake of suffering beings. And Je Rinpoche, we saw mentioned in the previous verse, having been drawn to the Buddha Dharma like a fish caught on a hook, he embarked in training wholeheartedly in the teachings of the Buddha Dharma. And he did so with a great awareness of the tremendous kindness of the Buddha for having taught the complete and unmistaken path by which one can attain lasting happiness, a happiness that is completely separated from suffering.
언니는 자는 아주게 코알을 저에게 탑람 안에 제게 상유점내 그런 게 있냐마 냠술래 냠는지 안에 상주 고마 토와 상유 그런 게 냠용 토네 아주리아 안에 제게 냠는지에게 최탐 이제 아주 나와 나신 랑기 응원을 주바디요 말에서 다신 집에서나 안에 나와 나신디 나와 나시 가오둠이 제바이나 안에 라지 주변 동배 동상지마 동아데 동바레스 지사 데니기 동바딘사 데니기 동바레 최탐제 라지 주변 동바레데 안최 탐제 매바레벨라네 매바 말에 지사 파르 파도 도비기 르파 샤바 좀 요레스 지사다 데니기 동이 남샤다 덴첸 저와 주변 남샤 송네 지사 데니기 장어도 진비냠네 제바도 추정률에 제하다 데니기 차상 최담제 라신이 마주바레 마주베 섬 디데네 냠네 제고레 세능아우들야 데니기 산지기 지경아도 코와단 탈바다 탐제 캠비 고방 토에게 탑 배마서 야고 쉬우시 송바레데 이네 안에 산유 점네데 공무소 제제 산유 점네 디기 되네야 모소 최슈야 마라바디 배마시기 안에 지게 가와 가서 소디 선마선나 안에지게 소디 총총 레샤세디 안도스네 안지게 그신야마 안제름 지고 도스네 안할 데니게 지게 슈마도 바디 뱅안도 다 that's all Kokopsman and the Guinea Raminus and Begeda to Denegel Kovashevarwa.
When the being that arose as the Buddha Shakyamuni, when he then came to teach the complete and unmistaken path to enlightenment, he was teaching not just based on his from his exalted wisdom, but also from his own experience, in that he had completely perfected all these very teachings that he was giving. In other words, he had cultivated all the paths of the Buddha Dharma within himself to the degree of perfection. And he taught, and teaching from his experience, he taught that his students must investigate how phenomena appear to their minds, and then investigate whether they exist in the way that they appear or not. And doing so, one will come to find that nothing at all exists in the way that it appears. In other words, phenomena are empty of existing in the way that they appear. In other words, they are empty of existing inherently. Does this though mean that phenomena are empty of existing inherently, mean that they are non-existent? Not at all. Rather, phenomena exist as mere imputations by mind. So what doesn't exist is what appears to the mind, this appearance of inherent existence. When this is sought, it's not found. But the phenomena exist though as a mere imputation by mind, or only or just as an imputation by mind. And this understanding is the harmony of emptiness and dependence arising. And Geshe Rinpoche has come to realize this and understand this, and generated thereby a tremendous appreciation for the kindness and the skill of the Buddha. However, he lamented that he had his great misfortune in not having received these teachings on dependence arising directly from Buddha Shakyamuni himself. So that too is what we looked at last time.
to shue Rama Sonsen be Lopam Rochik, the Deni Chumba Yine, and Denigi Lopam Chumati, Ganga Lam the Kurtuson, and Piki, and the Digor Masha, Jermchiki, Ganga de Lam the Pai, Guria, Kurtuson, and Piki, Tupikita, and Denigu Gol Masha.
So this is where we pick up from tonight. So we've being reminded of what we've covered now recently. The stage is set for the next presentation from Geshe Rinpoche. So thus far, he's expressing a grief or despair at being so unfortunate as not to have received these teachings on the harmony of dependence arising and emptiness from Buddha Shakyamuni directly. So now we come to how he transforms this mind of despair onto the path. The 43rd verse, the intensity of that sorrow, like a mother's mind drawn towards her precious child, does not let go of my mind.
Di Nyangan Shugini, Di Nyangan Shugini, Nyangan Sidu, Disore, Dakizin, Shubanajan, Sanyu Jumden, the Yangazo, Tarbata, Tamje Kimbi, Tobegi, Lam, Denigi, Bottom Sung, Sumba Rede, and the Sanyu Jumden, the Shi Shubi Kabla, and the Chiki, Denigi, Sanyu Jumden, the Zen, Musu Shushi, Turan Digi, Denigi, Mone, Dikapsone, Dachambata, Jaju Sembata, Yamlenchen, and Sanjo Kotoya, the bottom of Juniores, Jazanganzo, Delia, Denigo, Mara, the Pemasi, Chike, Sunam, Rosumasona, and the Sonam Chunju Resha, Sempigita, Denigi, nor Pembasi, Chik, no Homres, and Piki, Goshuchi, Nyangan Sidu, Gobashu, Gavares, or that, the Nyangans.
The first line, the intensity of that sorrow, refers to what we've just been looking at, that Buddha Shakyamuni taught the complete and unmistaken path to liberation from suffering in its entirety. And there are so many beings with great virtue, bodhisattvas and hearers and solitary realizers, who are able to receive those teachings directly from Buddha Shakyamuni himself. However, Geshe Rinpoche here, he's lamenting with this expression of intensity of sorrow that he lacked the merit to be able to receive these teachings on the harmony of dependent arising and emptiness directly from the Buddha himself.
Dubi bula mai Jesu sonwa chishindu se tsigniche. Dubi bula mai Jesu sonwa chishindu se diyo. Da kar songora sene. Pena amachilia mbu anchira chikyo bache andelia amige tsewa shu chikyo bena amadi karchi orson budil pe kedi ine budilia chiksemdi me budi yago chuna Sambiges Buddha Chamzeta, and Buddha and Ganga Yoga Sungjup Keti in Amigi Delia and Bugitundala, Tushin Kasor Sungjup, Tato Chigor was or that Dubi Bula, my Chiso song was.
Now we look at the second and the third lines together, like a mother's mind drawn towards her precious child. So here Geshe Rinpoche is making a very clear analogy of a mother who of course loves her dear child tremendously, and through the power of this love continuously has the wish, may everything go well for my child, may my child have no problems or no difficulties, but may their life go well and their opportunities be achieved. And then the mother will take constant care to ensure to the best of her ability that this is brought about.
The Buddha Chikani Juna Yabo Juna, Sempe Buddha Gencha Yungre, Sempe Sungjup, Gidina, somebody Buddha Cordish, Buddha, some Tadians of Chagorwa, Chesa Gidina, that a new Kubik Goblin, and you see in the Lamsan Buddha, some data, or the Nigi, the Anachik Buddha, Lobjoya, Mahomba, and Lobjoya Juna, Sempa, that any Kiwayana, Kiwaya, Tondalia, and it do Sena Gidina Amigi, Bugi Tondalia, but they were huge, some Dangor Wajeda.
A mother's mind, no matter what she's engaged in, there's always this presence of this wish, may things go well for my child, may my child not experience any suffering at all, certainly nothing of an intense type, but not even minor problems at all. In fact, may everything go well, may everything be the very best for my child. And when from the moment that she wakes up in the morning, immediately her attention is drawn towards her precious child, and she'll make a great effort to ensure her child has the best education, and it takes the greatest advantage of the opportunities that come the way of the child, doing everything to ensure that her precious child experiences only happiness. This is all due to the tremendous love of a mother for her child.
Adelea, the Jitsik Tambo de la Dinyang, Shugi ni says, Shugi said, Top Kisiko top, Carret top resin, that's Nesanye Zalia, Chungusu, Shia Mara, the San Yongus, Jovashu, Jedu, the Niki, Jova Shukchimbu, Jeviki, D. Shuki, that Jovakin the Minata and her Tichuma songs and Jovakina, and the Semajiver Shua. That in Shanda some Amadu and some Jovakin, Kedina, Semajiva, Adichik, Juma songs and Jovakin, Kangaja Chatu, Wada, Chesna Jeremichiki, Denigi, Chiki, Yaku, Denigi, Shuaram, Kokab Raman, some Jovaki, the Lamsa, Digi, Jovaki, Shuki, Karjua, Labna. Amagi Pud la Kedi, not so stava Nashin, and the Jeremichi Dishuk Ota, San Yuchum then do Kumosu Cheche, Chushia go Ramhebanea, 상여 점nen디기 숭디 다다바도 최디 다다바도 요레스 다다 제가 다다 요레스 제가 요바인자 상여 점nen디기 숭시비 최기 냠는 전에 냠는 마냥바지 냠는 지간 라마 요레스다 제가 다다 나야 고갑 요레스 제가 나디 요바기고 마중와레스 상여 구무수 제지 최셔 마중와레데 인한 알야 최 냠는 제기디 고배야고 또 선비게 심슈게 와레제래
Well, the link between the first line and the second and the third is that Geshe Rinpoche was experiencing an intensity of sorrow at not having the merit to have received these teachings from the Buddha directly. However, he didn't allow his mind to fall into despair and into grief. Rather, what he did is he took this intensity of this mind and likened it to the intensity of the mind of love that a mother has. So a mind of sorrow and a mind of love, of course, are completely different. But the similarity between these two is the intensity of the love, the intensity of the despair. And so rather he used this intensity, the intensity of the mind, and changed its focus, changed its objects. And rather he intentionally reminded himself that the Buddha Dharma exists in the world. And not only does the Buddha Dharma still exist, but he has the ability to practice, to train in it, to cultivate the minds of the Buddha Dharma within himself in their entirety. So what he's done is he's taken this intense suffering mind and refocused it, not lost that intensity, but through changing the object of his focus, he has reminded himself of the tremendous opportunity that he actually does have.
상기기 최 송셰바데 최 마냐바 여바제 디최 냠렌제켄 라마 아니 냠뇽 유켄 라마 여바 인자 제사 상유 좀된디기 송예기 최델야 먼저 냠렌 제바이나 최섬 검숨제 냠렌 제바이나 아니 상유 좀된디 구무수 제치 최슈바단 케메바 제가주 냠렌 도베 냠레야 뭐 지게 계제 아니 상유고바 톱투그라 톱투고레스 그래서네 상유 좀된디기 땡젠 제와 중와 규단建了 되네 안지야게 지금그래서 강아 중변에 규단 建了 되는 연구래 대화진나 규단 建了 되는 연구래서 세상 아주 냠는 퇴섬 곰섬 냠는 제바 있나 디 제발에 되네 아주 냠는 야네 공회도 줘야다 사지요 고파 토야라 아니 톱투 그래 선배기 아니 녀바로지 그러다 된 중화래서 그러
Geshe Rinpoche here, what he's showing in this verse is to intentionally turn one's mind from one object to another. And what he did is he focused not on what he had lost, but on what is possible. He reminded himself that the Buddha Dharma exists in the world, that there are skilled practitioners, there are teachers who are qualified in both knowledge and realization, and he can receive teachings from them, reflect on those teachings, coming to be able to actually meditate on these teachings. And through doing so, it is certain that enlightenment will be achieved. So this is possible even without having met Buddha Shakyamuni in person, having received these teachings directly from him. And this is because happiness comes about in dependence on the cultivation of the relevant causes. Suffering is eliminated in dependence on eliminating the causes of suffering. Seeing coming to realize this clearly for himself, he became certain that enlightenment can be achieved. And in this way again, he changed his focus from what was lost to rather what is possible.
데니게라 지게 톨이야 데네 공전에 안에 식타마들em 다기 이네 동미지 세디 가스네 대지베 아마기게디나 부들이야 제와체신 부들이야 마자와 게디나 부들 바다체 아니 두삼바 나시 네 삼로티야 다 상지 유송시비 최대 냠는 직제 맞제 제제상 토벌 맞은데 지금은 선배게 게디나 다 냠는 제기 안에 삼로티 안에 지게 전주기 똑디파 즉 benmasi top chenpo kyeche tuyasam gomsum sanje sunye chwe tuyasam gomsum de gedina je de tarcheba jigi sanpeke da zunjuge top kyeche ane loyang yune zao yune ma dong me se wuro da loyang dong mi she se de daage yine dong me she se de nge loyang yune ma dong wa che ane dine zunjuge top kyeche nge ane tuyasam gomsum nyamne jeba yin song korwa.
The fourth line, does not let go of my mind. So here, again linking to the analogy, just like a mother is always thinking of her child, always concerned that things go well for her child and her child experiences no problems. Similarly, he is going to keep his mind focused on the Buddha Dharma, ensuring that at the center of his mind is always the various topics of the Buddha Dharma, the topics that he is busy cultivating within himself. And in this way, does not let go of my mind, this specifically refers to this deep inner strength of mind that he's generating within himself, this mind of joyous perseverance that will never let go of the topics of the Buddha Dharma, but always ensure that in whatever he's doing, the various minds of the Buddha Dharma are first and foremost in his mind.
당보 안에 제르미첼이야 안에 가르레와레스 툴을 가르공부했습니다. 데니게 상유 줌네 되기 마랑슬 최야고 송화레데 상유 줌네네 자침보 슈지 제안에 디단 최야고 송화레데 이나 상유 줌네데 제제 최슈야 마라 베마시 경라샤 선비기 교바 슈심보 게르와다 교바기여도 지난 교바기에 제 가르소서 디 교바기에 대한 중민우 선비 교바기에 또 강하로 주로다 지난 데니게 디파 규르치네야 삼로시단 공부시에 규르치네 디기 똑기 아니 교바기에 디 똑기 오다이능이 상여 좀네 디기 추용 다데디 냠네 제고 유디 갑라 다 튀었음 곰숨 지제식 마친데 딩메스 된장 디린 버직 데니기 다 회야세의 윤에 땅메 삼제 누친 전주 똑기에는 냠네 제송하르 튀었음 곰숨 냠네 제바이죠 제사디 강아 람도 교와서 그러다 강아 지스 당보 중마송 선비기 교바 강아 중원에 수디 디기 똑기에제 야 상기기 철이야 대바다 이치 숙체게 될이야 냠nen체게 전주 숙체 배바 숙체 주스 중원인자 강아 람도 교와로 중화해서
What we're seeing here is this technique or the skill that Geshe Rinpoche has applied to transform problems on the path. So here his mind had become really become quite dispirited, in that he's come to some realization of the preciousness of the Buddha and the Buddha Dharma, and this then had led his mind to despairing that how unfortunate he is not to have received the teachings from the Buddha himself. But this mind of despair, from this many problems and many problems come. Knowing that, he then intentionally set out to transform this way of thinking, and he did so by changing the object that he was thinking about. So instead of remaining on the regret at the opportunity that he hadn't received, he rather changed his attention to the opportunity he did have, the opportunity he has attained, in that the Buddha Dharma remains in the world. And moreover, through relying on a qualified teacher, and through making great effort in receiving teachings, reflecting on them, and then meditating on them, one can transform one's life. One can transform one's mind and actually even attain enlightenment itself. And thinking like this led to a great inner strength of mind arising. And this inner strength of mind, conjoined with his faith and trust in the Buddha Dharma, meant he could entirely transform this mind of intense sorrow onto the path. And in the end, his mind became ever more powerful and virtuous.
Dandala, that Dudu na Shevena, Shuvena, this order, Majele, San Yujum, Jerum Chilla Dangbo, that San Yujum Nendipa, Juyendias, and Jig some and San Yujum Nendi, Sung Shebi, Chetipa, Duschin, Andrea, some time do, then San Yujum Nen, and the Jig Chung, Sushia, Marava, the Bay, Masakon, Russia, Sempigi, and Giovacchi. Then the Giovacchi or the Giovacchi, and the Nika Kala Lung, the Madubachi, Giova Pa, Gurchin Pa, Jinkobe Dish, Topki, and Carsos and Di Topian, Yasan Yuchelia, Nyamlenchia, Bezuenda, Zunjuda, Shuche, Namia, and the Jig, Loyamaton, Zunju Topki, Topshu Gage, Nyamlenchia, Chasam goes to Nyamlecha, Jeva in Sura, the names that the Nigi, King and the Nichumanepa, Lamdo Kirche, King and Drosu Kua, said the Zechinania, Jig, Nyamlenchia, Shuchetan. It's not Jerem Jing, me, the Nigi, Duchin, and Ganga Lamdu Kirchene, Nyamlin Jeva Yins, the Khanzi Nangin Jinju, Lomas Khanzi in the air, the Nigi Ganga Jubina Ganga de Pa, so the Lamdu Kirche, and the Ganga de to Panto Juba, Panto Tua Chisuch, Nyamlin Jeva, Sungurwada.
Rinpoche had come to an understanding of the tremendous preciousness of the Buddha Dharma, having had some experience of its transformative effects. But this then led his mind to becoming dispirited due to his tremendous regret that arose for lacking the merit to have received these teachings from the Buddha himself. However, then recognizing the grave danger of a mind of regret, he then sought to transform this mind. And the way he did it was particularly skillful. He took the strength of that mind and he utilized this. He didn't just distract himself and try and forget about his woes. He took the strength of that mind and used it by placing it rather he used the strength of the mind by reminding himself of the opportunities that he does have, that the Buddha Dharma remains in the world, and that through relying on a skilled teacher, through receiving teachings and reflecting repeatedly on those teachings over a sustained period, he would be able to train and cultivate his mind ever further. And this way, through transforming his problems onto the path in a skillful manner, this had the result that his practice, which was already quite accomplished, became even more so. He had his strength of mind developed ever further through this great intensity of mind to develop on the path and to train himself further. So this meaning of this verse, or the purpose of him composing the verse then, is to say to you, my students I'm teaching to, my students who in the future will read this verse, follow my example. Take the problems and difficulties that you do experience in life, transform them onto the path, and use them to enhance your spiritual development.
Jerem Chela, that number Shagyo Tubigi, and the Chiktu, and Tumba Shagyo Tubigi, Nyama, and the Lamji, Kablan Yamlen Chedang, and the Sanyachum Nendigi, and the Chige Sangyo Kobat of the Chu, Sunshibu Chu, Delia, and do Chinogomba Shadu, what that Sanyachum Nenzi Church, Mosushia Mara, the Persasa, Sambig Cuba, she would give you again in Arwa. Then I also sometimes when the Sanyachum Nendi said, the Nigi Cubashi Ligminua, the Lassane, all Sanyachum Nen said, the Gerachim Yama, Chigmi, Gerachim Chumare, some Sina, or the Nigi Chum, which so are and be the need some other music until it's whole Pemasika, the Nigi Shuyamara, the Pesasha, and be Cubaski Limit around the
So we've heard about, we've been hearing here now how Geshe Rinpoche developed within the mind of Geshe Rinpoche, great regret and remorse arose within him that he wasn't able to train at the feet of the Buddha himself. But if we're honest, probably most of us, if any of us, feel the same way. We may have great respect for the Buddha and appreciate the Buddha Dharma, but probably we don't feel any despair within ourselves that we haven't had the opportunity to meet him in person.
And the other subject don't Java Imbata. And the Sanyo Germany choose Masung Jeshalia, Pando Chimbo, Yachimbo Jetuba Imbata, Chazan, Kenjan, Sanji Yunden, Chazan, the Jeremy Kingo, that Sanji Yundenda, Sanji Sumbu Chutia, Yunden, you Tongorda. Tonga and then that the Nigi Yunden Chimbo Chitava Chuya Maradi, and the Pesasha and Bikuva Likura. Now to get Garmela, the Rasan. 上一个原点是原点的，那上一有送不去的两个就原点，也过去通土过嘛的，通马桶把这样就早前不的好过土过嘛，早前嘛好过马桶把人家，你这里就把些连马桶把都用这了，点的现实了，就是点点人家，可是就把来的，居然建起来点的用过了啊，就是居然建起来，搞的点的用是上一个原点呐，贵原点、送贵原点、土贵原点，吃啥钱？ 내내 상기기 제가 현래 판도 주비 다 차상 현용도 아니 진이 캠바 되네 하고 될라 때네 오당에 되냐마 마중에 빼사사선 비기 교바 리교로 봐 마주기 뒤엔데 마통 완자 마주려디 교바 리교 말
We sitting here on one hand in a very similar position to Je Rinpoche in that we have an appreciation for the Buddha and the Buddha Dharma, and we also haven't had the opportunity to receive the teachings on the harmony of dependent arising and emptiness from the Buddha himself. So in this way, we're very similar, where in the monks in many ways we are very different. One is that we don't have any particular regret about this. We're not sitting here with a mind that is intense in its sorrow. And the reason for this very different response to a similar situation is that through Je Rinpoche's training himself, through his own training, he had come to appreciate the preciousness of the Buddha in a way that we haven't. And he came to appreciate came to realize, to understand unmistakably the qualities of the Buddha in a way that we yet are to realize. Je Rinpoche had a clear understanding of the necessary training that a being needs to go through in order to rise as a Buddha. And therefore he was able to appreciate the tremendous efforts that the Buddha put in order to eventually arise as a Buddha. And moreover, through having realizations of the Buddha Dharma, he came to understand the unsurpassable benefits that followed from the Buddha becoming a Buddha and teaching the Dharma. The benefits, these unimaginable benefits that have come to countless sentient beings over at that point more than 1,000 years. So these are things that Je Rinpoche came to understand clearly. He came to realize they had, and this can be understood in the way the impact, the strength of impact they had on his mind. And moreover, he also came to, through his understanding of dependent arising, his realization of dependent arising, he understood that all the causes that need to be accumulated in order for the result of a being to arise in the four bodies of a Buddha. All the causes that need to be accumulated, that independent on those causes will come the qualities of a Buddha's body, the qualities of the Buddha's speech, the qualities of the Buddha's mind, and the qualities of the Buddha's enlightened activities. Having come to realize this, then regret arose in Lama Tsongkhapa's mind. See, this is where the difference is for us. We don't even understand those qualities, and we have very little understanding of the tremendous effort that a being needs to put in order to attain the fruition of the path, as well as the incredible benefit that really does come from the Buddha Dharma. This we still have to realize for ourselves. We understand them, let alone realize them. Whereas Je Rinpoche had, hence such strong, such intense regret arose within him.
나 된다라 제름치게 알아서래 디 랍제는 거다 랍제 가르는 거를 랍나 한 제름 랍제 가르는 거라서네 나 제름치게 가르송 거라서네 세상 상예 좀는 디기 알아서 조선전 탐지기 된다려 아니 지게 배 지게 가와 제네 냠는 제네 배 냠는 제도 배 균능부 로망부를 냠는 제 근데 류다 소되게 당제 냠는 제한 냠는 제네 아니 지게 파진 쪽에 냠는 제네 상예 고방 톱 상계 고방 톱선에 아주기 아주 코월을 줘야지 상계 고방 톱에 된다려야 안취 아직에电칭인 저와 취 탐제 라신 마두비 동료도 별로도 공구리 세대 동이 걸 송와데 시사 동료도 별로도 공바이나 아주기 녀모 봐야 방제 탈바다 상계 고방 톱라 电칭 저와 주로 공제 동료도 별로도 공 톱구리 안디야 대다 념들아
그거는
电칭 저와 주와 电这个时候，电前这话就话是明啊，这个电前这话就过送话的电前这话送个话，就是电前这话或这话就送去第年能接呢。3月9号特别秋度，电前这话就送话的，其实那送话的，但俺就上一个，俺这个公务这些，我做这些生意在你去啊，然后没办呢，但是生意送去的起码是好的要的，其实那的年龄节跟。Lama 去对面 Lama 的乐队的是，其实那个乐队搞不得了呀。当然这个专注给他年嘛的那个中美呢，他年们马进的他们都身边个，但是专注节节，俺上一个送礼啊，俺挑什么公众结果的也是我的。
Je Rinpoche here is further saying to us that all this incredible training that the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni engaged in, he did this not just out of mindless activity or for his own pleasure. He did it for our sake, our individual sake, for the sake of each and every one of us. He was motivated. The being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni was motivated to arise as a Buddha, to achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, which means it was for all of us. So many lifetimes he gave up his body, he even gave up his life in order to accumulate merit for our sake. He went through all the hardships over countless eons so that we each individually can attain liberation from suffering. And to express this slightly differently, in order for us to attain to fulfill the Buddha's wish, we need to realize emptiness. We need to cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness within us, because independent on that, we will eliminate the ignorance of self-grasping, and thereby attain liberation, attain freedom from suffering. So we haven't had the opportunity to receive teachings directly from the Buddha because we lack the merit for that. But we do live in a time where there are qualified spiritual teachers in this world. And thereby, through hearing teachings and reflecting on them, and coming to meditate on them, we can give rise to the same qualities as a Buddha within our own continuum. And we too can become a being that brings incomparable benefit to others.
di shen re se nga zu ge sam na la ge di na di shen kon zu re di nga re se rang da shen ni pa be di wa che che de me ru sam da de go re se di nga zu ge da da cha yo no zu re se be ne rang da shen se de rang se de chu lu da ba zam ji re shen se de lu da ba zam ma do nga zu la shen se de pe ni nga zu na le shen se de ji ge rang gu mo ni zu de ke gang lai ma de rang mo ni zu ba nang go ro na wa na shi ji xian ji yo be sen di zao yin yo ma de s ji sa na wa de ni ge na wa na xin xian ji da xin ji be chen na ni ye yo ma de s ne xian yo ma de be lam na xian ji yo de s ka sen pa lu pa da ba zhen yo ba de s go ro da.
We've heard many times that in this teaching on dependent arising that the Buddha taught that all phenomena are dependent arisings. There is nothing that is independent. All phenomena are dependent. And this then includes, as we've heard, the self, the I, but also other, in the context of self and other. And this thinking, this dividing into ourselves and other, is something that really pervades our way of thinking. We're continuously acting under this mistaken way of relating to ourselves and others, us and them. And from this way of this dualistic way of thinking, a wide array of errors come, such as competitiveness, always striving for our own betterment, seeing ourselves as separate and distinct from others. So self and other are phenomena. Self is a phenomenon, other is a phenomenon. How do these appear to our mind? So we've spoken in the past about self, and other is the same. Every phenomenon appears to us as being inherently existent. And just as we've heard, when we investigate and look for self or we look for other, we cannot find any existent self or any existent other. Nothing exists in the way that appears. Nothing exists inherently. But does that mean it doesn't exist at all? Does self not exist at all? Does other not exist at all? This is not the case. Self is merely imputed by mind. So too is other. Other is also a mere imputation by mind. Or to express it differently, others only exist as merely imputed by mind.
da mini yoro da mini ji mi xian da ji nga le ya o xian le gro wa ko ro le de xian ro wa nge ko le ya xian le gro wa de ne nga rang re la ko mi xian da de nga le xian le ko re de nga xian re rang re la na da nga re la an de ko kyo le xian le du wa ko de zun ba re be se de ma ma re be la ne ko de de ba ro wa na ko nga le xian le gyo di ko ro le de nga xian re de ro wa 지금 코로나 때문에 내가 현재 진짜 현재들 지금 거기 가래 현재 거래 아니 결혼 현재배 거기 현재도 와라네 오만 가라래라 그래 아니 결혼이 된바래 거기 된바래 다 굉장히 수준시 거랬을랍나 근데 거기 준시를 나야 말어 봐도 아니 거기 말에 현재도 원해래로 와다 코로나 현재도 원해 현재래로 와 지금 이 가라래서 원해래로 와 지금 딩이 삼다는 코에 결혼을 시행라도 코에 결혼 시행의 준시바를 준시 말에 권권이래 아니 나라시 제가는 시행사 랑세의 결혼이 랑다 시행이가 되면은 이게 랍싱 말봐 제가 랑문이 줍디게 랑다 시행지 여배나 당아 랑야래 시행야래 이가래라고 지그와 그러와 가서 미션다지 결혼 시행래라고 그래 지코 시행 라바나신 랑문이 줍이 시행지 차려로 와다 다 소소라는 게 랑래라고 그래 현 말이라고 그래 그래서 랑원이 주변에 소소라 랑 라바 나시 랑원이 주 유어균의 죄매팅 랑치 차대로 봐 그래서 유어균의 죄매팅 랑치다 강라에 모두 유어균의 현이디 직접 차요 말하다 그래서 다 랑다 현세디 민우하다. 그 제바기네 제바전에 매매되는 책으로. 지사 랑 디네 삼다베나 랑다 현초라 랑레베 현레 슬랍나 네 갈라고 그랬더니 라스 렌자라고도.
So let's look a little bit more at self and other. So self or I and other. So do these exist inherently? Does the self or I or oneself exist inherently? Does other than oneself, other than myself, exist inherently? So as we've heard in the past, if something were to exist inherently or exist by way of its own nature, it would have the two characteristics of being independent, so not influenced by anything at all, and unchanging. So if self and other than self were inherently existent, which is how they appear to the mind, they would have those characteristics of being unchanging and independent. Now, if that were the case, let's take the situation of self and other. I'm sitting here, and this is self. Here before me is other. And if I was to ask any one of you, where is self? And you wouldn't point at me, you'd point at yourselves. And if I say, then where is other? Including with everyone else in the room other than yourself, you'd point at me. Now that seems a little strange, because I'm quite convinced this is myself, and you are other. But you point at me and say, I'm other. So am I self or am I other? Is someone here confused? Is someone here lying? Is someone making something up? Or perhaps I'm both self and I'm other. Now this is a little strange. It clearly doesn't make sense. But if we investigate then, what is the situation? Is the self inherently existent? Is other inherently existent? Or am I inherently existent self and other? We'll not be able to find anything, no matter in what way we look at it, whether I look at it from my perspective or your perspective or someone else's perspective. No matter how I investigate, I won't find an inherently existent self, or an inherently existent other, or an inherently existent self and other. So nothing can be found that exists inherently.
Bendigo samdavena ta nga rangwene tubden yuwa gune doya medica nga sedan shen sedi ni michile ni ga yon shia yon marwa mewanza ta di jena digmerwa ta mewan ta denigi men ta karrela nga sedan shen sedi nga rang le due je pa nga la due ne ko shen si da sha ba zhen ma do an rangwene tubden yuwa gune doya medica shen sedi mindu 제가 랑세야 현실을 되네 나랑세 현실을 되네 나랑세 발 현실을 되네 나세 따바 잠레마도 아니 나랑원이 교육이네 마도게 나랑원이 죽티게 같이 되니기 예민도아스 매와자다 랑다 현세디 니가 발로 봤다 봤자마도 당신 집에 채나 랑을 나와나신 랑원이 마도버데 직직야래 샤스 캐바균이 민도서다 랑다 현세디 오래야 당신 집에 채나 아주 뭐라 캐버기니 민도스
So if we investigate in the way that we've looked at many times in the past, we'll see there's no inherently existent self to be found, no inherently existent other to be found, no inherently existent self and other. So both abiding on one basis can be found either. But that doesn't mean that there's no self and that there's no other at all. Rather, there's through a mere imputation by mind, we have self and other. Because I impute self here, I can impute other there. So both self and other exist as mere imputations by mind, as dependence on imputation, so as dependent arisings, dependent on imputation. How self and other do not exist are inherently. There's no inherently existent self or other that can be found at all. So when we look for an inherently existing self, we find the self is empty of being inherently existent. When we look for an inherently existent other, we find that other is empty of being inherently existent. So both are empty, which means both self and other are identical in terms of their essence. Their essence is the same. Both, though, are also mere imputations by mind. In dependence on imputation by mind, there is self, and therefore there can be other. So again, the key points: self as well as other exist as mere imputations by mind, and both ourselves and others are identical in terms of our essence, in that both completely lack any trace of inherent existence.
nga dewu kukudu, nga kiwu kukudu, ane nga leya shenki nyugudu simbik. Deni ke samdanje, nga ane chikbuyi, nga kera chimbo isne nga kya ta. Ane chala dede nga la kukudu sete, deni ke chakwa kya ta. Ane shenki nga la nyugudu, shen pa chike nga la nyuba tike meba suyogudu sam shen liya kongro la ya ta. Chisa deni ke mangche, deni ke rang liya nga seti, nga rang ngone drupa chi na wa na xin zin nga ra xin drupa zin de ni ge nga ra xin drupa de le ya nga zu ge jie ba zin o de le ya bu ku du sam je de ne nga zu ge de cha xie dang kong zhuo nyu mo ba mang bo ge ze nga zu da de ba do nga se de rang ji zin ge sam ba di wang ge ko wa le ko xie ji le ga da ma la ji ko wa ko san ji ko pang 상계 전에 최응어수 슈마토바데 니기 견진 중화래서다 다 상계 점된데 폐용도 상계 점된데 전에 최응어수 슈마토바데야 랑치승의 삼바 nga se ding nga ju ge rang mu ju ba na wa na xin jin de ya rang chi jing sam ba ong a di bu gu nga ji bu gu nga le ne gu sim de ni di tho ne nga ju de sha khong do nyom mo ba da ma na jie xin di yu wang ge nga zu kho ba ro kho an nga ju ge ye sam lo de ge ya shu sha da ma tu ba che di ge jian jin ne nga ju ye an du ma ba du me ba nyong wa de rang chi jing sam ba de ge chi go res 다 상예 년마 상예 줌내데 무슨 페디 겁라 상예 줌내데 공무수 제제 상예 줌내디기 뉘네 꾸디네 쳔 쉬용어스 쉬마도 바디야 아서리야 라한치징에 삼로도 슈 쳔부 예바제 디 원게 뉴모도 송예 샤와도 송완자 쇠남 사마도 바제 쇠남 사마도 완자 상예 고스 제예게 쇠남 사마도 바레 지상 상예는 쳔어스 쉬야 마라바레 디 껬디 가와레선 제위 껬디 가와레 람나 라한치징에 삼바디기 중화레스 오다
Digosong, ja, de parla, chikchenange chikomasong, rangchensing dan daksin, de ni drawa yume. Daksin.
Diti jela xiao.
Jela, okay, kasi sung yume nge sapo komasong.
Dar de ngarang zule rangchensing se chiorda nga sa rangxin zhuba na wa na xin jin che, de ni ge na wa na xin nga de liya jeba jingoro wa rangchensing se.
So I just need to remind myself we're getting started. So what we've seen thus far then is that whether we're talking about the self, we're talking about other, then these such phenomena exist in dependence on imputation by mind, one thing depending on another. There's no inherently existent self, inherently existent other, inherently existent phenomenon at all. Rather, all existent phenomena exist in dependence on imputation by mind. However, whilst that is the case, the sense of self, the self-identity, this I that appears to our mind, the I that appears to us, a mind then grasps at that self as existing in the way that it appears. And it's from this grasping at the self as existing in the way that it appears that all these thoughts of the self-existent self needs happiness, requires happiness, and therefore when attachment arises from this self-grasping and one engages in this wide variety of activities, I want this, I want that, and trying to fulfill one's own needs, even if it's at the expense of others. And if others others or situations come in the way of the fulfillment of our own wishes, we either push them aside or, if necessary, even cause harm to them. So in this way, from the self-cherishing mind, from the self-grasping mind that grasps at the self as existing inherently, we then try to fulfill the needs of the self, and attachment comes, wanting things to come, and anger comes, pushing away everything that we perceive as a threat to the self. Likewise, minds such as pride and arrogance arise, thinking that we are so famous and so respected, and we have qualities that far exceed others, and we have pride and arrogance and look down on others. So all of this all these afflicted minds comes from this self-grasping, this mind that grasps at a self as existing inherently. This mind that grasps at a self as existing in a way that it appears, even though it doesn't exist in this way. And from this selfish mind of self-grasping, which can be called the self-cherishing mind, from this comes about all these activities that we engage in, physical, verbal, mental activities that keep us bound within the prison of samsara. And it's not that everything that we say, do, and think is non-virtuous, of course not. We do engage in virtuous activities under the influence of virtuous minds, but they are pervaded by the self-cherishing mind, this wish for our own happiness. And this means that our virtue is contaminated, and thereby our virtue is weak. I mean, because our virtue is so weak, we didn't have the opportunity to meet Buddha Shakyamuni when he was abiding in this world and when he was teaching the Buddha Dharma. So the cause for not having sufficient strength of merit to have met the Buddha directly, the cause for each and every unwanted situation that we have, all our problems and our difficulties, are the self-cherishing mind. In brief, the root of every unwanted situation is our selfish, self-cherishing mind.
Ranchi zingi samba xie de Gabriele ya dianjin dasin de la ngure ya ranchi zingi samba de la dasin ngure be la ne inggoya ya mar de la dasin ingen je yo ra dasin ma ingen je ni ga ngo ranchi zingi samba de la dasin ingen chi da dasin ma ingen ji ni ngure.
Let's talk then a bit about the self-cherishing mind. So it can be looked at in two ways. It can be the self-grasping mind. It can be something separate from the self-grasping mind.
Gabriele Pijnala Ranchi Samba said dasin lia ma to soya check in the Denizada Maranzulia Karandan Gorilla Nam Maranzun said now you do, Rang said now you do. Gudan Kian Gale, Amado Rang when you droop to him, and Chashe Gale Korong Rangung when you droopa, you work in the drain with Nangor and Arzulia. Now the dinner on Nashing out the dear some beats in Balangiture and out the Zingore. Cesa, Maranzuga said, Oh, I did you do, Mal Kalaya wood and I do go something Anzugi, Ranchi, somebody mixed it. Nga de la ganich rang ganich migors nga washing to the limiticore. Chesa ang to give rang chasing somebody dancing dancing ratio, Kansa Tatu, dancing and check it, dancing and la that thing you bluchina, dancing and chagua.
So some texts equate the self-cherishing mind with the self-grasping mind. Yeah. So the way the self innately appears to us is as being inherently existent. In other words, it appears to us as being independent, so not influenced by anything else at all. The self appears to us as being independent, not influenced by anything else at all, and it's something that is unchanging, that's always present. So it's the way that the self appears to us is innate, it naturally arises within us. And then we grasp at this appearance, grasp at it or believe in it, accept it, grasp at it, that it exists in the way that it appears, that the way that it appears is true. And this is the mind of true grasping or self-grasping. And from this belief that the self is something that is self-existent, comes all our afflicted minds, starting with this, I want happiness. I don't want this situation. I want that situation. I want things to go the way I want them to because I want happiness. So this is how all our afflictions follow from this self-grasping mind, which we can call the self-cherishing mind. So a synonym according to the Prasangika for the self-grasping mind is the true grasping mind. So that sometimes you'll come across true grasping, sometimes self-grasping. Here, according to Prasangika, the mind is the same. Perhaps the object differs, but the mind is the same. So if it's grasping at the self, we tend to call it self-grasping, but it's no different from the mind of true grasping, according to Prasangika. And this can also then be equated to or called the self-cherishing mind.
다도 주바지메 다신 차디거로 제가 다신 차려 지난 거 다신 인자 아주게 랑친 삼바텔 때네 되샤기고로 콘로기고레 나게기고레 차도기고레 묘모마 차산 델리드네 레용고로
So from this self-cherishing mind or the self-grasping mind follow all our afflictions such as anger, such as attachment, such as pride, such as jealousy. So there's this dependency that from the self-cherishing mind or the self-grasping mind follow the other afflictions.
건주게 다음에 동이 또 살와 동이 또 다 년도에다 라게 진짜 박바다 자주 모여와 건주게 동이 또 살에 다 건주래 강사디 투 강라마의 랑모 주변에 나오면은 건주 가서 어디 나와 나진 자기는 요 말에 삼고를 제려야 시험바 요 말와 진짜 요 말에 삼고 진짜 건주줄라 랑나 세디 나와 나시 랑원 자기는 요 말에 삼고를 다 건주 동이 또 살와 동이 또 완전 다 이내 다 공주게 나랑 타르바 토고도 나랑 디기 나랑 다 자주미지부 토고스면 나세버 나랑 토고도 랑리아 아니 지게 자주미지부 토고도 코알을 쪼고도 선비게 랑 고고스면 라지 삼르셔로 어디 건주기게 다 자주년데 파파당 자주미기기 랑나 아니 지 대화 고고도 세다 아니 랑아 자주미지부 토고스면 라지진 지 삼르셔로 어디 라지진 삼르레데 다진 말이고 그로 문제에 대해 로든디체 다진 말이야.
The other presentation on the relationship between the self-grasping mind and the self-cherishing mind is can be understood through the looking at the situation of the hero and solitary realizer practitioners. So those who have attained the Arya states, who have come to realize emptiness directly, so are those of the hero and solitary realizer lineages who have realized emptiness directly. They do not believe that the self exists in the way that it appears, because they have realized emptiness directly, and they know that phenomena do not exist in the way that they appear to the mind. So yet they are striving for their own liberation. They're striving for their own state of lasting happiness. They're striving to achieve the state of an arat or a foe destroyer. So here we can say that they are influenced by the self-cherishing mind, not the self-grasping mind, because they've realized emptiness directly, and they are not deceived by appearances, because they know that phenomena do not exist in the way that they appear. But still, they're striving for their own liberation, their own individual liberation. And so here we can make a differentiation between the mind of self-grasping and the mind of self-cherishing.
Dan dinigi nyandu da rangja phaba desu yuge da rang chesenge nga degi gogo do nga jajumi jibo togo sembigi da rang chesenge samlo yorde dinigi rang chesenge samlo dele tene and dyacha kya da khondro kya da nga kya da chado kya yonggo mare 그래서 고 nyomo marwa 지난 그런 게 개화실이 되다. 진짜 니네 인자 내를 때네 아니 되자 공로 나게리고 말. 이내 견가로 열어서네 견지열에서 견가로 열어서 라 지진 삼바 요바자 현된 개치 뭐지 두고 말이지. 현된 개치 뭐지 두고 말했어. 전주선 만나지 현된 개치 뭐지 두고 말했지.
Furthermore, with this second presentation, the hero and solitude realizer Arya beings, so these beings who have realized emptiness directly and are striving for their own individual liberation, they are said not to be under the influence of the self-grasping mind, because they've realized emptiness directly, but they are under the influence of the self-cherishing mind. And this then can be seen now in a second way, in that they are not giving rise to other afflictions. So we heard about this presentation that from our self-cherishing mind and our self-grasping mind, when the two are seen as one, come all our afflictions. Now these are beings who have realized emptiness directly, so their minds are not, they don't have afflictions arising within themselves. They are only they're accumulating pure virtue, but they still have a fault. So despite overcoming the self-grasping mind, they still have the fault of the self-cherishing mind. And how is that fault expressed? That they do not cherish others in the same way that bodhisattvas do. So it's not saying they don't cherish others, but they do not cherish others in the way that bodhisattvas do. So that is the fault that remains for hero and solitude realizer Arya beings. That despite having realized emptiness directly, they are, and not giving rise therefore to various afflictions, they are striving for their own individual liberation and not cherishing others in the same way that bodhisattvas do.
Dini inzada rang jesengi samlo tela ya gyönchi mato ane yönden roba chik jera metinga. Chesa da ngana zuki da ngana tongye mato ba mato bi kansa ina da ngana zuki rang jesengi samlo tela tene nyomo jang chi mato ane kiti ine ngana zu duya di dewa duya she ngana li dewa gu nga yabu gu du se tene ngana samde da ngana zi kihab chesa ngana zu yabu gu du samje du chene rang jesengi samlo digi lega lega du tel xian la kanga rang la ka rang xin ni ka la kanga dine di wong ge nyomo di wong le sa dine ke wa chi ma yin na ho wa mang bo dung ma bo nyong ga de che rang chi sin sam lo di gyuen le sha dine yin za da na nga zo kar ji wa sen di pha sam lo de dor che rang chi sam lo dor che ji da rang da xian sa de ke wa ka mi du ko rang da xian le pha do be da sam xia sam ma do rang wen ni zhu tu ji mi du che sa me ban zang 다 딜리데 랑 지선 삼로 파 도르제 xianle 제바지 xianle 디기 주고도 xian 강아 세야다 xian이 디기 주나 세비기 온디니 xian 지진의 삼바 주고 데니 제바나 xian 지진의 삼로 델라 데네 마저 가린 것은 Shen Rang La Shen La Jeba Zimbiki, Shen La Digi Juna, Sembe Samlo Chidang, Shen Yi Ganga Se Udu, Sembe Samlo Dikazi, Shukchebe Yemene, Digi, Shen Lia Pando, Yachimo, Pando Chitu. 写图过，就是先你刚刚写图过，先你刚刚写的，那所以呢，给我啥过来，给我啥呢？拆掉了以呢，没先给呢，俺就打上来，说出来呀，没打上也不用啊打，俺说个无钱嘛用啊打，俺给我起码什么单位呢？俺就给他先来判不住，你给我啥？你。先来结巴真巴什么呢？先来那个结什么用嘛的哇？其实先来出这么送我的，出这么送我，出这么年来也我吃过的。但是现在地区主要的，现在刚刚说什么单位的，这边年来也我去用度过的。但那随便年来用过的，那专注年来用过，实际上年来也我得度过的。但那来外呢，那还是给我起码呢，他那没有过帮投呀，俺给的呢确切也个搞不来呀，俺这。给我起码什么单，在这里什么单呢？那这个说样，这个购物员啊，他没先给那购物去地员啊，说什么购物员呀？按那这个样子了，他把他们这前边过把什么单呢？进不出人随便做那做年龄这个也不两对，那上有个把头呀，他年吃，但是工人讲究什么新把他，俺那当年给到啊什么单都是年这边呢。实际上，现接近的三百得了点呢，你们切白呢，那讲究工作的人都讲究什么工作人，俺得了呀呢，却他们讲人工的主要嘛的身边的，我都什么大节，现接近的三百切白呢，实际上进步出现水把准备，你们三代你们这个，俺来用过来，现在的呢把三九个往头来，他年人要做过来，现在的呢现在现接近的三百得了点呢，啊说呀，这个用呀给过的。马上呢，先接是300的意思。你第300得了点呢，就过月那点呢呀，你就农用啥的、民用啥么，我那个了。过的甲片呢要嘛的哇，过月呢就是要的哇，过年呢就是要嘛。的那些先接是个300的，啊，说的第一用呀给，然后你个的第一用呀的，上几个帮推呀给，过哪去的意思。先让接近什么得了点呢？说的东岸用呀的，刚刚用的，然后你个了刚刚用呀给，那你就着些的，过着些的，其实现在电竞这个就话什么大节，其实你那个电竞个什么大呢？你同样呢，让接近300趴那多少钱？先接近300，大些年纪个什么大都是呢？你们能过来说的。
Looking at whichever way one looks at the self-cherishing mind, whichever of those two explanations one considers, one sees that the self-cherishing mind only has faults. It only brings about problems. And this is because under the influence of the self-cherishing mind, what predominates us is the fulfillment of our wishes. And from having this as our central motivation, this causes great problems for others directly, but also indirectly. And it also creates problems for ourselves too, because it's from the self-cherishing mind that all our afflicted minds come. And we engage in activities that bring harm to others, but also to ourselves. And through this we create the negative karma that will lead to problems in our future lives as well. So the self-cherishing mind creates problems for us both now and in our future lives. And likewise, through the self-cherishing mind, it brings harm directly to others now, and through that, they may well accumulate non-virtue, which leads to their suffering being, further suffering for themselves in their future lives as well. So therefore, the self-cherishing mind, in dependence on that, only suffering comes for oneself as well as others, in this life as well as future lives. So therefore, the discarding of the self-cherishing mind needs to be our primary focus. And we do this through reflecting on dependent arising, as we heard earlier in this talk, that in the same way that self is empty of inherent existence, so too is other. Not neither self nor other exists inherently. Both are the same in their essence, in being empty of inherent existence. Both exist as mere imputations by mind, as dependent on imputation by mind. Then furthermore, thinking that we are also the same in wanting to experience only happiness and wanting to be freed of suffering. That thought then too serves to strengthen the cultivation of the other cherishing mind. So first coming to see how self and other are empty of inherent existence, are the same in essence, and also the same in wanting to experience happiness and be freed of suffering. So it's using those 2 points that one can weaken and eventually eliminate the self-cherishing mind and strengthen the other cherishing mind. And the stronger the other cherishing mind, the more we will want to benefit others, and the more benefit we will bring to others. So this then will be experienced in our mind being naturally being more and more inclined towards virtue, in that we will not want to harm others in any way, but we will want to benefit others in any way that we can. So the stronger the other cherishing mind is, the more we will strive to utilize whatever resources we have, whatever skills we have, to bring benefit to others. So our practice of generosity will be greatly enhanced. And conjoined with this, we will not want to bring any harm to others. The other cherishing mind will prevent us from engaging in a way that may bring harm to others. So our practice of ethics will be greatly enhanced. And so too will our practice of patience. Whenever problems are experienced, these will easily be transformed for the sake of others. And likewise with other practices of joyous perseverance and concentration and wisdom, all of these are enhanced through the other cherishing mind. And the greater of strength the other cherishing mind is, the greater our spiritual development, the greater the merit is that we'll accumulate, and the more rapidly enlightenment itself will approach. So what we see here is that if one is under the influence of the other cherishing mind, the exact opposite results come than being under the influence of the self-cherishing mind. If under the influence of the other cherishing mind, benefit comes to others right now, as well as in their future lives. Benefit comes to oneself right now, as well as in our future lives. So this other cherishing mind can be likened to a doorway through which all good qualities follow, whereas the self-cherishing mind, it's through this doorway that all misery and suffering comes. So therefore this needs to be our primary object of abandonment, the self-cherishing mind.
Tianjin Jawa Chunga Samda Je Ganga Chitebene Ganga Lam the Yutuba Chehures and Digi Julia Yutuba Chehores, Penagan Chehora Lamna, Shienji, Sosolia, and the Tsukta, and the Chikunjuru Chebena, and another de la Kong Pa Chikunja, the Konglana, Makiwa Chagua, Tisan Denigi Tsukta, Dinichi. Ninja, the Kolia, Kondo Kiores, the Kondo Kia, and the Kondo Della Dene, and the Gunju, the Sukuya, and the Yungures, the Kayo Marco Dingy and George was, Chisan Kolo Kondo, the Ninjas and Ninja some Dachik. On the Nigi, Ninja some Tadi, Sosulia, Ganga the Chundure. And the Artigna. Antico got all that coin like the Sevo Comeg and Yamin Jeb, Aquarasum, somebody. The Nigo Coin says, Chixing Alto, Malia Sevocom, the Sosu Sevocom, or that thing as Sevocom, Cohabiabush, Beapurea, something. Need you like a what ye, quick in Jenny Juma, Beapurea, some Navena. That king alam the juice or what? Carson, Sosuke Kawasa to or what? Changi, Tsup down, and then take it, don't know what Gunju Chevan, tell it in Sosugi. Jamni Comedi Gavare, and Sosugi Sevocomche, and the Sevocome, Comia Cobra, so some big some daddy, give each other. There's a dinner, Sosulia, Semia Ganga Tigomada. Dinner, and dinner, two chin some taven, King and Drosukua, Cassin King and never Kia Shuvene, Sosugi, Gavasa, Julia, Jetua, the King and Drosukua. Dine aji chalaro lawe ne mikumaro chebe ne tanga tangi chala la song kuma cheson pe sa so some semde nya je de bai na zo kanga mongro wa ndele ya o ta tingi chala la song ga ko tinjin de wa chore ko yuwa de temba duba maro was chisan gangla ya ma to rang mun duba mares chisan chigli de ne yuwa duba yuwa ro shen le cheba de ta chen ning je ta ko le ya ne shen ji zen sambo yo ba sam ta yo du ta ko le ya kanga che che ko le ji gu wo re so ne ko de le ya de ba ke ba ko gu wo pe ya ko ya sta ko no pemba de ya ko yo sho ta ngi di ko le jin yin sam ta sha ba na kanga yu ne yo ma da chisan de ni za so su ge cha la gu ma ko ke che de ni ge kanga ju wa re de 소수기 야 강아 말레바지 딜야니 개위 쇼스 유튜브죠. 세상 강아 남도 교와 전진 저와 주에 삼다지 강아 남도 교 지투부레서 다 제름 정한 저기 랍자를 마서나 누르치네 딘진 저와 주와 삼다지 동반이 된 삼다 랑제진 삼로 도르제 안시엔지지 삼바콤 안디콤비아데 케치모레스 제가 디네 인잠 아니 갱안도 중외네 대람도 교야 되네 땡징 저어져 삼다지 지상다 되네 상기기 송시베 사침보 최델이야 아니 기디네 전주 dobjeje 퇴섬 검숨제제 냠는제디 계치모 시우리에서지 안다 된다라 디링기가 저기 시제디기 제름제 랍자로 마상아도 딘난 거래 되네게 삼다야래다.
So in this, just to summarize this verse we've been looking at, Rinpoche here is advising us to transform whatever problems and difficulties we experience into the path. So for example, problems, of course we experience a wide array of problems throughout the day, but let's take an illustration of a couple. So one perhaps where someone speaks to us in an unwanted manner, in an inappropriate manner. So this is something we have all too much experience of already, and it's certain we will have encountered such situations again. So we know that if we get angry in dependence on the words that have been spoken, we become unhappy. That is clear. And if we then respond under the influence of this anger, the situation just gets worse. But if we rather use these teachings in a skillful way, and remind ourselves that in dependence on this person before me who's spoken to me in this unwanted manner, they are doing so in dependence on their own self-cherishing mind. This has led them to wanting things to go their way. This has led them to discard the needs of others, and thereby have spoken in this abusive manner. So they are doing so because they are suffering. Their mind is afflicted, possibly by anger, possibly by pride. Whichever affliction it is, they are suffering. Thinking like that then, that this being before oneself, this being that longs for happiness, that longs for freedom from pain, is now suffering, compassion will arise within us. So the words that have been said to us haven't changed, but our response is completely different. And we are then able to respond in a skillful manner and diffuse the situation and maybe even ease the suffering of the being before us. Then later, it's important then to reflect on that situation, because doing so, undoubtedly great joy will arise in one's mind, because one will have seen the benefits of one's meditation, the benefits of one's training, the benefits of the development of our minds of love and compassion and patience, and that when an opportunity came to apply these minds, we did so successfully. And then, when we reflect on that situation, instead of perhaps what is the case now, when we reflect or we recall when someone spoke to us in an unwanted manner and we again get angry, now we'll reflect on that situation and compassion will again arise for that person, but also an appreciation for this person, that this person helped us to accumulate great virtue, helped us gain a stronger habituation to transforming problems into the path. And now, in this way, we see this person as being incredibly kind to us. They certainly were suffering, but they were incredibly kind to us because we accumulated so much virtue and skill. So we're no longer seeing, we certainly do not see this person as an enemy, but we see them as a friend. So here we see through our mental training, we have completely transformed a very common situation. And another situation would be, for example, if one has valued possessions stolen. So normally one gets quite angry about this, one's lost something that one values. But here, if one rather uses one's training in dependent arising to think, that product, that possession only came about in dependence on causes and conditions, and I acquired it in dependence on causes and conditions, I lost it now in dependence on causes and conditions. So therefore there's nothing to grasp at, there's nothing that exists from its own side. I didn't gain it inherently, I didn't lose it inherently, it didn't and never has existed inherently. In fact, even this concept of it being mine, this mine is also only dependent on imputation by mind. So thinking like this, our mind becomes light and spacious. We're no longer grasping at a particular object, because we're seeing the whole process of its acquiring and its loss, and the object itself as lacking any foundation in concrete reality, in inherent existence. And likewise, the concept of it being mine, that too is a mere imputation by mind. Thinking like this, our mind becomes light, spacious, and joyous. No longer are we troubled by the upheaval of loss, but rather our mind is peaceful, calm, and joyous. And then moreover, we can reflect that it's only in dependence on this person who has stolen from me that I've been able to now reflect on dependence arising and generate all this virtue. So in dependence on their activity, I accumulated a lot of virtue. Now when we think of this thief, we don't see them as a bad person who's taking something that we value, but someone who's actually, in dependence on them, have shown us a great kindness. And then we will almost certainly spontaneously make the aspiration that now that they own this possession that I formerly considered mine, may it bring great happiness into their life. May it bring joy into their life. So here are a couple of illustrations then that we can think about and try and cultivate within us through coming to integrate the wisdom of dependent arising. Then we'll be able to follow this advice of Je Rinpoche and transform our problems and difficulties in life into the path. Moreover, we heard tonight about the need to abandon this other cherishing mind from which only problems and difficulties come. And all that we've heard tonight has come about from what we heard right at the beginning of the talk, on the preciousness of the Buddha's teachings that were passed on to us with such great kindness. So that in brief is what we've looked at this evening. Okay. So it's a little late, so we'll just finish there now. Thank you very much.